What's going on, Slap fans? Back once again. This time around, we are doing a future watch with Myles Jackson. We're going to get into it with him. We're going to talk about the future and his prospects because I know he's got unfinished business here in Power Slap. Myles, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself, man?
I'm doing really good. Thank you for joining me. You get the opportunity to join, the reality TV series Road to the Title 2 as part of Power Slap. Did you ever think this day would come, and how elated were you when the brass of Power Slap called and said, here's your plane ticket, you're coming in, you're part of the show?
I didn't really believe it was going to happen at all. I just did it on a whim, just signed up one day because I seen Wolverine was the heavyweight champion, and him being as small as he was, I thought it'd be an easy ticket if I got a chance. And then when they did, I was like, fuck yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Wolverine certainly, one of the greatest of all time. I mean, up until this point, obviously dropping down the light heavyweight has done him well. Obviously, been able to get back, up to the top. But like from your experience, like what gave you that confidence to want to be able to sign up and get into it?
Really, from like football and like street fights that I've been in and stuff like that, somebody his size, it wouldn't have been really much of a problem. He wouldn't have lasted too long. Same thing that Brian did to me, I'd have did to him, but I'd have kept my feet down.
Yeah, absolutely. They showed a clip of your day job and working, and there's a soundbite of you, saying you're the only one that can lift, the heavy items on the job site and stuff like that. Is a day in the house easier than a day in, real life of Myles Jackson?
Oh, for sure. It was the cakewalk just to sit around and hang out with guys and bullshit all day. Definitely.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about it. I mean, the first matchup, you go up against Brian Ellis, walk us through that entire experience, getting to the apex, getting ready to get up there. Like, what did it feel like in that moment?
To be honest, it felt pretty good until I seen Brian. When I seen Brian, I knew that he was going to be my opponent because nobody else was even close to size, and he was going to be a problem if he got the first hit, and it ended up being that way. Yeah, but other than that, I thought it was going to be pretty much a cakewalk. The strike machine I didn't do too well in because I didn't know you really had to hit directly in the middle of the circle, so my hand's big, so I was missing most of it. The neck machine, I was lifting off the ground with people standing on it, so that's another reason why I didn't really think he was going to hit me too hard.
Yeah, you're definitely the tallest guy that they've ever seen in Power Slap at 6'8". Did you think that height, and I mean probably the length in your arms too, I'm not sure what your wingspan is, but I'm sure it's massive. Did you think that can be used to your advantage to be able to generate more speed, and whip through your delivery?
Oh yeah, for sure. For like shorter opponents, I would slap down and come down and bring the force. And then for the most part, they would have to go up. And if their arm's not long enough, they're going to have to lean forward, which is going to cause them to club, or they're going to not do that, and they're just going to hit me with their fingertips.
Yeah, 100%. We've never seen it, but I don't know if it's crossed your mind or contemplated. I mean, some of the guys in heavy, I don't like take like a Cody Cox who would be, 6 feet or under. You ever thought about somebody who, potentially, you'd have 10, 11, 12 inches of height on, how that would play into a matchup?
To be honest, the only one I would be worried about with that much height difference would be Logan. Logan is so stocky that the height difference would not matter. I feel like that would be a problem. Anybody else, I don't see it. Him and Brian, there's the only obstacles in my way, really.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, getting up there, getting, the victory by DQ. I mean, obviously, I'm sure it's bittersweet for you. You get the win. I won't ask anything else, further from it than that. But, do you feel like you got kind of slighted or cheated in that first matchup? Like, how are you feeling about it?
I don't really think about being cheated more than that. To be honest, they should have still gave him the win. No matter what, I went the fuck to sleep. His foot might have came up, but he's new. I'm new. People that have been in this sport for months and stuff like that still make those small mistakes and don't get called on it, but they call it on him. But it is what it is. I'm not going to bitch and complain that I got to win, but I still don't like the way it went out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you weren't able to, they haven't enacted the redemption rule yet. which I think is still interesting. Could have, potentially could have played into this factor. The redemption rule essentially is if you get KO'd on the first slap, if you're still able to give a strike, they would give you that opportunity to at least hit Brian back and bring it to a draw. I mean, obviously with the stepping, I mean, I guess it wouldn't really have come into play here, but for the folks that didn't get to see you strike yet, what is that going to look like when we actually get to see it first time?
I didn't pick my name for no reason. I picked Bone Crusher for a reason. When I hit somebody, there's a high probability I'm going to break something in their face.
Awesome, my man. So you were coached by KO Chris Thomas. What was he like, to being in your corner, and what kind of advice did he give you?
He was real cool. He told me the things that I needed to know, but in the end, I got up there, adrenaline rushing, and it all went out the door. I didn't tense up, no nothing. I just stood there and was just waiting for him to hit me.
Yeah. I mean, the aftermath of that hit, did it, I mean, I don't want to ask you, did it hurt, but for how long did it hurt? Were you concussed? How quickly were you able to kind of get back to normal after that?
Pretty much when I came to, I got back to normal, but I was definitely out. He put me all the way to sleep.
Mm-hmm. And do you remember anything of it? Like
not too much, not too much at all.
Yeah. It's funny because some guys will remember, some guys don't. They'll be like, well, I remember being back in my hotel room, but I have no idea how I got here.
Yeah, but I think it's because of the double whammy, him hitting me and then me hitting the table.
Yeah. Were you happy with, all the medical procedures? I mean, before, during, kind of after, you feel like your health and safety was handled accordingly?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because if it wasn't handled, they'd have been like, all right, you can go ahead and just keep going. They'd have another fight the next day or whatever, but they take the shit pretty serious. They won't let you do nothing if there's even the slightest chance that you can have neurological issues from it.
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk about the house. How hard was it being kind of in, isolation, no phone, no contact really to the outside world? How hard was that?
It was definitely hard. I fall asleep with the TV on at night and everything like that. So no TV, no phone, no music. Mm-hmm. So really all you had to do was to talk to other people.
Yeah. And how was that? I mean, 28 other guys, I'm sure not everyone's personalities always click. Like how hard was it to kind of adapt and go to that kind of that frat boy living type of lifestyle?
I pretty much get along with everybody. I didn't really have any issues with anybody in the house. They loved me in there. I pretty much kept everything chill. Anybody was getting off and tried to be all aggressive, like nope, cut that shit out. We're just gonna have a good time and then do the fights when it comes time.
Yeah. No, I hear you, man. I mean, I think the great thing about being on the reality show is it gives you that opportunity, whether it was, 90 seconds or whatever it was, to tell your story ahead of time, get to know kind of the background of you so people can build that instant connection. When your fight dropped, did you hear from people that you haven't heard from in years? Are you seeing your social media accounts grow? Like, are you getting any attention from it?
Oh yeah, definitely, for sure. And it's just the good and the bad. People were like, oh shit, you got knocked out. And people were like, oh man, I'm proud of you out there doing your thing. But you take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah. Going through this experience, like, what have you learned that's going to help you into the future here?
Next time to tense up and not just stand there and think it's going to be a slap, because it's pretty much a punch. So you better be ready for it.
So you didn't tense at all, really?
Zero.
Is that just like adrenaline and nerves? Like you said, you forgot the technique?
I didn't really think, like, I knew it was going to be a sting and some push, but I didn't anticipate him actually coming off the ground and putting actually all that force into it. And with the neck machine, the way I did that, I'm like, all right, so my neck's pretty fucking strong. I don't got to really worry about too much.
Yeah. How hard was it for you to make that, the cap of the weight class? Like, did you have to cut it all?
Yeah, I actually when I got to the hotel, I think I was at 288.
Okay.
And I thought it was going to be extremely hard because it took me 10 years to lose 100 pounds because I was at 384 when I was like 16. Mm-hmm. So I got to the hotel and was riding the Peloton bike for like 4 hours a day until they told me, it was like, you don't got to do all that. You can just go and sweat out the weight.
Awesome, man. What are you doing now? What are you training? Are you still trying to lose a bit of weight? You trying to put on some muscle? Like what are you doing now to focus on that next opportunity?
Oh, definitely trying to put on some more muscles on my shoulders. Got some neck harnesses and some stuff for my jaws to work out all them muscles. Be ready for the next one. It ain't gonna happen again.
Yeah. Are you still going to try to keep around that 280 mark? You think that's kind of a good walk around weight for you?
No, I think I'm going to try to get down to 265 and stay around that area so I don't have to cut too much water weight, because that's another reason why I think I went to sleep so quick, because I didn't get enough water in my system in time.
Yeah. One of the observations that I've seen, you seem to be very, bottom heavy. Like, is that from football? The big quads, the big ass. Like, is that a football makeup from always being in that kind of ready, whatever 3-point stance or whatever?
Oh, yeah, for sure. My legs are incredibly strong. I think the last time I did like a squat, it was like 600 pounds and the bar was bending.
Nice, nice. Have you been working on how to transfer that energy? I know it's hard without being able to rotate, but have you been working on trying to, how can you harness some of that energy from your lower half into the slap that we'll eventually see?
Yeah, I think I figured out some maneuvers where I can keep my feet down and get some good rotation off of it.
Yeah. Awesome, my man. One last one for you. This is the first time we got you on the show. I want you to drop your social handles for me, and I want you to thank anybody in your life that helped you get here.
Hey, really up to my mom and my family. Thanks for looking out and believing me. Smoking Op Pack on Xbox if you want to play with me. Sir Chiefs a lot on Instagram.
Awesome, man. Appreciate you joining me. Hopefully it's the first of many to come, and you got a long, illustrious career here in Power Slap. All the very best, my dude.
Yes, sir.